Hello students. We are going to start off with the second lecture on power plants, different power plants. And today we are going to talk about thermal power plants. Thermal power plant is actually quite a long topic and it will actually take out some time to finish it off. So we are not going to just finish it in this lecture. We are going to continue with it in our future lecture also, probably one more. So thermal power plant is one of the most widely used power plants, and let's see how does it work and how does it function. So this is an image of a thermal power plant. Yes, I know it doesn't look to a very happy picture, keeping in condition the environmental deterioration, but we also need electricity, and that's very important. So there is always a basic compromise between what we need and what we want. So the thermal power generation plant, or we also call it as the thermal power station, is actually the most conventional source of electric power, not only in terms of our nation, but across the world. Because in the last lecture we have looked into some charts and some graphs and some maps where we have seen the thermal power plant is being used number of times. So thermal power plant is also referred to as coal thermal power plant. Most of the time coal is used as the source of heat and to generate heat, and it is also sometimes called the steam turbine power plant, because with this coal we are going to generate steam, which will basically going to rotate the turbine, and we are going to get the power output from there. So we have got the steam turbine power plant. We need to understand the line diagram of the electric power generation plant, and we will come to that later. So a power generation plant mainly consists of an alternator. Now I think you have heard about the term alternator, but anyway I'm going to come to that alternator. A small part on that is also included, and it basically runs with the help of steam turbine. So a steam is obtained from high pressure boilers. So we have the boilers where a lot of steam is generated. Now before we proceed further, you need to understand the pressure cooker scenario. Now imagine your pressure cooker, you want to release the pressure after, let's say, your rice is cooked. What you do is you basically open the whistle and steam comes out, flowing out of it at a very high speed. A similar thing is also used to generate mechanical energy in a steam high pressure boilers. So generally in India, the source of heat that we use is bituminous coal, brown coal, or peat. Now all these three has got its own application, but efficiency wise bituminous coal is quite efficient. Let's just look into the three web definitions of these three. So if we look into this bituminous coal, what you look here is this, let's say first let's check about the bituminous coal. So bituminous coal will look something like this, which is more blackish in color, and as per the definition, it is a black coal having a relatively high volatile content. Okay, so it's basically a black coal having a high volatile content, and it burns with a characteristics bright smoky flame. So it's more blackish in color, right? So next what we have is uh, let's say talk about peat now. Now what is peat? A peat is actually also known as turf. It's basically an accumulation of partially decayed vegetation or organic matter. So when the organic matter usually decays, it gives rise to a material which can be used to generate heat. Okay, it can burn and it can generate heat, and that is basically called a peat. And finally the brown coal. Well, the brown coal, the efficiency is not very high. It's basically what we see is a soft brown combustible sedimentary rock. Okay, it is formed from compressed peat. So it is basically, if we take the peat and compress it at a very high pressure, we can get that. And these are the contents that are there. So if you want more information on that, you can definitely check the websites, but for now I think that's okay that we actually know the basics of these. Okay, so then what we do is we use these three materials to generate heat, mostly used in India, and bituminous coal is the most efficient one. Now the bituminous coal that is used in the powder form in the boiler, because the volatile matter is around 8 to 33%, and the ash content is around 5 to 6% for that. So if we use the powder form, we can use the volatile part mostly, and we can actually have a better efficiency of the material. So in coal thermal power plant, the steam is produced in high pressure in steam boiler. So we need to know what is steam boiler now. So we will look into that. Now this is actually generated due to the burning of the fuel, which is the pulverized coal. So this steam is further superheated in a superheater. So that steam is already having a lot of pressure within it, but we superheat it. We heat it further using a superheater to generate even more pressure, so that the turbines can generate more electricity. The superheated steam will enter the turbine and rotate the turbine blades. Now the concept of turbine blades, I think it's quite common, because when we are talking about hydropower, we have the water stored at a higher altitude falling on the turbine so that the blade can rotate. Now in this case, we are not using water directly, we are using the steam to rotate the turbines. So the turbine is mechanically coupled with the alternator, and its rotor will rotate with the rotation of the turbine blades. So after entering the turbine, the steam pressure suddenly falls and corresponding volume of the steam increases. What does it mean? That when it enters the turbine, the steam pressure suddenly falls, because there is the region within which the steam is compressed is less, so the steam pressure falls down. And obviously if the pressure falls, the volume that it occupies will be more. Okay, so it will occupy a more volume. Well, just take a little detour and try to understand what is a steam boiler and alternator. So what is a steam boiler usually? So a steam boiler is basically a closed vessel inside which water is stored. So you can consider your pressure cooker as a very simple example. And we use the fuel, generally coal is burnt in furnace, and hot gases are produced. So what you can have is, you can put the pressure cooker on top of an LPG, and that might be a good example to compare. And then we have water inside it, which basically heats up and produces the steam. Okay, so these hot gases will basically come in contact with water vessel, where the heat of these hot gases transfer to water, and consequently the steam is produced in the boiler. Very much self-explanatory. I think it's very simple to understand, and that is what is a steam boiler is all about. Now this steam is piped to the turbine of thermal power plant. So we basically provide a direction, that is why we call it as piped. Okay, what's an alternator? An alternator is a technology used even in cars, was used in cars, where you actually generate power to charge the battery. It basically converts your mechanical energy to electrical energy, okay, in the form of alternating current, and that current can be used to actually charge a battery in car. So basically this is what is an alternator is all about. So we have the mechanical energy which is produced from steam. Okay, so we have the mechanical energy produced from the steam. Okay, and then it is converted into electrical energy. Okay, and we have the turbines which rotates and which will produce the electrical energy. Okay, so let's get back to the topic, and let's try to understand what is the, how does the thermal power plant work in brief. So the first point is, what we'll do, we will take coal, will generate heat in the furnace, and which will be actually having the steam boiler attached to it, right? Then high pressure steam is produced in the boiler. Okay, simple. And then this steam is passed through the superheater, which is further heated up. Okay, now this superheated steam is entered into the turbine at a very high speed. Okay, now this speed will actually force the turbine blade to rotate. So it's very simple, it will rotate the turbine blade. So this means that here the turbine is stored potential energy of the high pressure steam is converted into mechanical energy. Okay, so the potential energy of the steam is converted into mechanical energy, and then what happens, this turbine is connected to a alternator which basically generates the electricity that we need. So this is the line diagram and the schematic diagram of thermal power plant, also very important from examination point of view. Probably I can give you 2 marks for this, right? So that's important. So what we look into this is, let's start from the boiler here. So we have the boiler here, and then we have the steam which is produced in the boiler, and it flows in this direction to the turbine, and we have the blades inside the turbine which is connected to the alternator, and we are actually getting the power. But then what happens to the steam which is actually there, okay, after the turbine blade has been rotated? Well, it is then fed back into the condenser. Now what is a condenser? A condenser will cool down. So let's go to the next slide and we'll come back to this slide again. So you see what happens is after rotating the turbine blade, the steam has lost its high pressure, right? So it will pass out the turbine blade and enter into the condenser. So this is what is said in the last part. So we have the condenser here. So we have the condenser. It is fed into the condenser. Then if the condenser, what happens, the cold water is there, which basically gets circulated with the help of a pump, and this will actually condense the low pressure wet steam. So the condenser will actually condense the wet steam, and this condensed water is then further supplied to low pressure water heater. So we have the low pressure water heater again. So we have got this system here, and then what happens is it is again heated to a high pressure heater where the high pressure of the steam is used for heating. So it can be reused again. Okay, so if you look back into the slide, okay, so if you look back into the slide again, so we can actually feeding it back to the boiler, and then again we are using the same steam. Okay, so we can reuse it again and again. Of course there are some losses, and that can be actually covered up, right? And of course what we can see here is that this boiler is also connected to a chimney, because we have got the exhaust which needs to discard the power, okay, or the waste. Okay, so we have it attached it with the chimney there. Okay, so this is the line diagram which you need to remember, and probably it will carry 2 marks along with explanation. So we might actually be able to design 8 to 10 marks question in this particular topic. So the turbine in thermal power station acts basically as a prime mover of the alternator. So this is the thermal power station operation cycle. Again, it may be an objective question. We have the turbine, and then we have got the condenser. Okay, we have the condenser, and from the condenser it goes back to the pump, and then from the pump it goes back to the boiler, and from the boiler it is again fed back into the turbine. So this circle keeps on continuing again and again for an number of times for keeping the thermal power station running. So what is the working fluid here? It's steam and water. Very important. Okay, this is called feed water and steam cycle. Okay, so we have got water which is fed in, and we are actually getting steam. So that's the feed water steam cycle. Might be an objective question, multiple choice question in your quizzes. Okay, and the ideal thermodynamic cycle to which the operation of a thermal power station closely resembles is called the Rankine cycle. So in the next class we are going to discuss about the Rankine cycle. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.